In this video I have another one of these Panasonic hi-fi machines. Don't know why I got it really, but this one looked like it was a model I didn't have, and it seems it's the case. MVHD620MkII, another 6-head long play machine. We've got NTSC, a couple of different colour systems. So I don't know if the other ones had that. I get a feeling, did they have a flip down front? I can't even remember now. But it seems there's an endless number of these things. Got it plugged in and it's at least got the display up, not the brightest. Power NTSC playback on Power TV. Some of these would play NTSC, but your TV had to have the NTSC converter in it. So that's probably what that's telling you there. A lot of machines would play NTSC, so they were capable of reading it, but then they just put an NTSC signal out the back, and your TV had to be able to decode that. Whereas this looks like this is a full converting one. The old Super Drive, jet rewind 250 times. Digital auto tracking, auto crystal view control on the screen display. No remote with it, unfortunately. Not even a power cord. I guess we'll have a look and see if this thing runs. Another one of these Z mechanism things. So it's had a bit of use, a bit brown around a couple of transistors down there. Yeah, I think this one might have done a few hours. So whether it's meant to be working, but whether it does is a whole other thing. I think I'll wish the tape in there. Probably at least basically working. Well, we've got sound. A little bit of noise here, like it's not tracking the best, but how good this tape is another thing too. Can we adjust anything? Oh, actually I think that's the tracking there, isn't it? Yeah, hi-fi drops out. I think that's pretty good. Now we're going to get up to turbo mode. Sounds like it. And again, it's too close to the end of the tape, I think. That's stopped. It's still deciding what rewind mode to go into, so that must be a thing with these things. Tape's getting a bit crazy there. It's had a bit of tension, maybe it could be the tape, I guess, but there's been quite a few machines now, probably not the best condition. Ooh, I think we're jammed up. Yeah, a bit funny at the beginning of the tape there. And now I think we've clogged the heads up. There's the problem with VHS tapes, especially when they're ones used for testing lots of different things. They tend to get a bit of muck on them. Nothing really coming off there though. We've certainly lost picture, so whether that was dirty heads, that's usually what it is. I must get a CRT set up because it's useless using modern digital TVs that mute the picture. Certainly a bit of muck on that lower drum. A really good black patch there. Because you can't really see the symptoms of what's going on with modern TVs. You want a TV that mutes the sound on your VCR bench, because then you're not constantly getting snow sound all the time, but you do not want a picture that mutes. I've still got the old Samsung I used to use years ago. I think it's a P54 or P58 chassis. I guess I should do a video on that one day, because I kept my basic bench with that TV on it and the test amp and stuff, and that's still here. It's just buried behind a bit of stuff now, but I might have to set that up somewhere again, because it's so much better than any LCD television. When it comes to this type of work, yeah, a bit of muck in here for sure. It's definitely done a bit of work. There's some grot on the control head by the look of it too, probably isn't helping. Control's not too bad, we'll give it a quick clean. Let's try that, see if we've got our picture back. No, we're still gooed up. Oh, at least there's a picture there though. Something's not happy. Come on, fast forward, you son of a... Look at a dodgy mode switch in this thing. It's certainly not the happiest. Because it's not tension issue. It's a bit tight on that side maybe. That seems to play alright. Look, now we're in trouble. I think this thing's got issues. Oh yeah, what's going on here? Seems to have a lot of tension for some reason. Is this going in the wrong mode or something? And it goes without back tension, so it's in the right mode. It's shuddering a lot. What is going on there? Put a bit more tension on it, but then it stops altogether. Now it's stuck even without the tension band. Yeah, she's got some weird issues, I think. That's why I never buy a second-hand VCR unless you can fix it yourself. Is it the motor not running? Certainly doing some weird stuff. Don't tell me you sensed I haven't got a proper tape in there. How should you work that out? Something's making an awful noise there somewhere. Yeah, something's not the happiest in there. Oh, multiple things, I think. Is it still going? Is it in... Sounds a bit like it's in dew mode or something, which is not impossible. It's not that cold today, but it's not real warm either. And there's certainly some muck stuck to that, but it's still a little bit coming off. Don't know, it does look a little dull, that lower drum, but I don't know if that's actually a problem. Certainly doesn't feel the smoothest. They should be pretty slick with the cotton bud. Yeah, might be still a bit of muck coming off there. Hasn't done anything obvious to the tape. I don't see any muck on there. Usually if the tape's high tension it's because it's greasy or something. Yeah, it doesn't want to play its own tape again, or the one that's played in it before. Rewind goes straight out. Let's try that. Let's fast forward actually, I should say. Hit rewind. Oh, now it's actually working. It was coming up with a symbol and just stopping. Trying on a different part of the tape. Hit play, it's a bit slow to do anything. There we go. That's working again. I can hear it getting noisier. Like we're getting increasing back tension. You can hear a sort of louder buzzing sound off the heads. Ooh, something's squealing in there, and I think that's something to do with the main cam gear or the motor driving it or something. Whoa, not happy. Yeah, we got an issue somewhere, that's for sure. It seems to be in this loading motor part. Yeah, works fine now. Very weird. Well, it wasn't the head cleaner, was it? When does that go on? It shouldn't go on at this, only when you eject, I think. I've had those head cleaners squeal quite loudly. That one didn't even turn. Yeah, that's interesting. That head cleaner doesn't seem to be working. Got something dirty on one side, particularly in one spot. And I didn't see it rotate. Yeah, this has got a squealy motor maybe. Well, we know why someone got rid of this machine. Yeah, that head cleaner comes across, but it does not move. Is it not coming far enough across? Yeah, weird, just doesn't seem to want to move on the head. Is it just normally a bit of felt like that? I can't even remember that. I think that should still move freely. It's just felt clipped on there. Jeez, unhappy. Good thing I've got a few more of these, I think, because I'll have to sort the motor in this one. I don't know what was causing the tension issues. Oh, we need a bad patch in the tape. Oh, there we go. I wonder if it did some damage to the tape or something. It's weird. There's some slight stuff on the tape, I think, but whether this machine, because it did it to 2 different tapes. Problem is, once I got a bad patch, you can't get past it again. But man, that thing's a squealer. So it's possible this put something on that tape that's enough to get the tension up. Runs the earlier part fine. Not squealing. Very random. It just seems to squeal. Oh yeah, you can seemingly make it do it. I mean, these motor mounts aren't the best. I think almost lifting that motor out a bit might help. It's just all this plasticky rubbish. It's not surprised things probably twist a bit. Well, let's fix it for the time being, maybe. that gear is like going wobbling around everywhere, the one under here that the motor turns. Oh wow, look at this junk. It's going back and forwards, it looks like. Maybe that's just the internal part, it's not actually an issue, but still don't know exactly how it's managing to squeal like that. Oh, we've got a dead fly in there. Lovely. I forget how these even come off. Do you just clip 2 bits there maybe? I'll screw this side. No, I'm not sure it's even a screw. There's a clip there. Slide thing there. But it's basically working other than the squealy bit. Let's have a quick look. Surprised there isn't shredded plastic in there or something. The noise that thing's making. Maybe it just needs a shaft lubing or something. Don't know. The worm wheel thing there. Don't know what's going on. How do we... I think we put our finger, that's it. Release the catches on the lighting mech so we can get those screws out. Good thing that's why I turn the power off. Yeah, they're designed to catch on that, I think. Head just unplugs. Oh, we've got a motor connection or something. Drum, I think. Could it be the actual... I don't think it could be that. That is our loading motor by the look of it. 2 clips. And something's lifting. That just lift off, or so long since I've done one. Do I have to prise that a bit? That's it, just push down as it is a clip. Guess it makes sense, it wouldn't just sit there. So it could be the motor shaft somewhere is noisy. Doubt it'd be one of these gears making that much noise. They've got a bit of lube on them still by the look of it. I think it's got to be that motor. Now, these can be fun to push out. Because I think, there's pins at the front. Yeah, it does just come, I think, though. It's a bit fiddly. Get those pins out of the way. It's got another, oh no, just tight, I think. I think it should come out though, it just does not want to come off that other pin. There goes the shaft out of it. Yeah, not my favourite kind of thing to work on. Oh yeah, listen to that. She's noisy. Maybe just a bit of oil on the outside here. That thing, that sits awfully tight. It's not meant to be that tight, it's actually pulling it onto that. There should be a gap there, surely. Actual plastic bit's butting onto the metal bit, that's probably half the problem. I don't think these motor couplings crack. Oh yes they do, well look at that's got a crack in it. It's the old Panasonic crappy motor coupling. It strikes again, I think. That is pretty nasty though. So whether that's done anything to the motor, it shouldn't do. It's probably just age is why it's so noisy. Well, that's fixed the squealy bit on the motor. And yeah, the K-Mech was famous for these couplings splitting and creating all sorts of intermittent issues. It might explain some of the other weird stuff we're seeing when they sort of start changing modes and trying to do stuff and failing to do it, and they shut down or something. That's because they can't get to the mode they want in the time required. Usually the microprocessor knows how long it takes. And if they're a bit late arriving, often that makes the machine think there's a fault. So they tend to shut off in case there's, faulty tape or whatever jamming it up. I guess I can do the old put a bit of arrowite on there for now trick. I wouldn't really recommend it if you want the machine to keep going for a while. I assume you can buy these things for a few dollars still. You could the K-Mech ones. I think I've actually got one somewhere to put in one. But that should have been out a bit further too. It was pressed right hard against the metal. I think with this one, I'm just going to glue it. And yeah, these silly things are absolutely useless, this araldite. Get a bit of hot weather and it all comes out, which is why I keep it in a bag, but it's even leaked out of the bag now. I think we've lost nearly 1/2 of this stuff. Doesn't seem to matter what you do. The old tubes used to split and leak. Now it's completely seized up, I think. Here we go, there's a bit of 1/2. No sign of the other one. Looks like I'll just have to scrape some out of the bag or somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty useless design, that. I think I'm going to have to look for a new brand of epoxy resin. Well, let's hope this is the other half. Yeah, slightly different colour. Yeah, pretty much useless product these days. So I don't recommend you buy Silly's araldite because it always seems to end up running out of the tube somewhere. Whether it's a syringe or the metal tubes, which I don't think you can even buy anymore. So I had to waste so much glue to make one tiny little pulley. Maybe if I can get something down in that crack. The main idea is just to push it up. The shaft of the motor to push it up inside there, yeah, it's going through, I think. And then we've got to remove all the excess because we want that gear to go back on afterwards, but we don't want to put it on yet because we don't want to glue it on there. This little worm wheel thing, I might just use it to push the stuff down, make sure it's off there. Maybe a bit of metho on there to try and clean it. I think we've gone on a bit too hard again. Let's give it a little gap to the motor. And we can let that dry. And I'll leave that for probably 24 hours before putting it back together. Probably should throw that heat cleaner away, I guess, but I'll worry about that later. In theory, I probably should clean the mode switch. I might even give that a clean. I think I did that in one of the other videos, so there's not much point doing it again, but you can just pop this bit off here. Give it a clean. Bit of dust once brushing out. Otherwise looks pretty good, but like I said, it's getting a little dark around here. Those two transistors have been running fairly warm. Not even sure what they do. Probably some sort of voltage regulator, I guess. And there you go. I'm not surprised that's split. But I think it's the first one I've actually seen in one of these mechs. Most of them just, when I was still repairing stuff, they were fairly new. And they hadn't had enough use to cause that sort of problem. I do get a feeling the master cams used to sometimes go in them though. I think it doesn't take much to break the master cam. This big gear here, fairly sure I had to replace some of those. I know I definitely saw some of these machines for repair. Okay, glue should have set. Let's hope it all fits back together. Seems to do so. And that was down, wasn't it? Try and get all this clipped back together. Making sure that shaft goes in alright. Which it hasn't. Why are you going in? There we go. Clip it in. Just got to press a bit harder than feels safe. And of course we've got to make sure this should all be still lined up, I think. Should be a flat bit on there somewhere, is that right? Which gears which around here? Yeah, maybe there's not. It's one thing I don't know 100% sure. Well, actually, I don't think it matters in that case. As long as the mode switch and the master cam are in the right spots. Where are we? That goes there. Then, oh yeah, of course, the alignment to the motor doesn't matter because it's only a load motor, so it just spins that around. It's the other bits that have to be aligned. I was thinking it was one of the ones that dropped down into the middle there, but it doesn't. Even then, I'm not sure if it matters. As long as that mode switch gets engaged, which is the little pin sticking out on this bottom of the master cam there, goes in a little slot. I don't think there's really anything else we needed to mess around with. It's really just a matter of putting everything back together. A bit of dust in there I guess I should get out. Just gotta get these screw holes and pins lined up and stuff. Push that home so that all the connectors go in. Hook that up. Hook that up. And that's it, there's no other screws there, I don't think. It was just the bits holding the mech in. No, that's not this machine. A couple of these weird big screws in the back. Not sure the idea, I think they allow a bit of play in it for some reason. got to put our cassette housing, it's probably still in like we had it before. And they're just the cover screws. Can even push it out by hand. And making sure we lift the door up first to get over the eject lever. There we go. Hopefully no squealy sounds. This tape might still have a damaged patch in it, or greasy patch, whatever it is. Yeah, that seems to be working alright. Gives a nice picture. No squealing sound so far. It's mainly going into rewind. I think ejecting the tape. So to get that one going, it's probably not the most recommended thing to do to actually glue them, but just if you're going to use it yourself, probably fine to do. I'm not sure they'll last forever like that, but it'll probably last a while, given that it was working reasonably well besides the squealing sound, even with the crack in it. But you will get sort of intermittent times when they don't run properly and stuff, when it tries to change modes or something. If they slip, they'll probably like half try to do something and then shut down because it took too long to do the operation, or maybe when it gets to a certain point in the loading or ejecting mode or something like that, or you try to vision search and rewind where it's got to wind it or something and it just won't work, or it'll shut the machine off. That's what they sort of did with the K mechanisms from memory. It's usually something like that. But that certainly causes some intermittent stuff. God damn. That'll certainly cause some intermittent problems. And in this case, I think it was just because that bit had slid up hard against the motor, it was squealing. So I think it's just the plastic scraping on the metal body of the motor is the most likely reason for it. Could have been that the other bit was actually slipping a bit inside the motor shaft. That can make a bit of a squealing sound like that as well. Hard to know exactly what it was, but I'd say it's definitely related to that coupling there. And the good thing is we can actually just rotate this and see the split in it. So that's something new I learned about it, is if you just rotate the shaft up against the motor there, all the way around until, have a look, see if there's an actual split in it. Not surprising, these sort of push-on things, obviously not made out of the best plastic in these Panasonics, because it must go hard or something, and it just splits. It's kind of sad that they didn't fix it after all the issues they had with the K mechanism for doing it, even though it was quite a different pulley, and this one's a lot thicker, so you would hope, I guess, that the thicker plastic, they probably thought they'd learned their lesson from it. And yet there it is, splitting again. Mind you, they're kind of well past their use by date now, so I don't think anyone can complain too much they didn't get their money's worth out of it, though possibly heavy users would have noticed something earlier on. but when this thing's at least 20 years old now, probably a bit more, it's done pretty well. But oh well, I guess that's another one I can add to the collection of how many different hi-fi machines Panasonic put out. And I did buy another one on eBay of the earlier K-Mech ones, which I think is a HD600. So these must be the first, or close to the first if it's a Mark II. Maybe it was an earlier one, but these are the first ones into the Z-Mech by the look of it. And it looks like the HD600 is still one of the earlier ones, and I've got a couple of other ones of those machines here, I think. So we'll get onto them. I've actually got a K-Mech. I think the coupling for the motor and the big slide plate underneath to finish one I did a video on before that I just sort of resurrected. So I think we'll get that one going, and I'll see if I can find what I did with the other one. That I'm pretty sure there's a second one that's virtually the same, and then when this other one turns up from eBay, I guess I can have a look at all three of them at once. But anyway, that gets the 620 Mark II going. I forget what the other ones were. I think a 630 and a 650 or something. So it's really weird how many different models there are, and it goes to show you can't trust these second-hand things to actually work, even when they say they work. I mean, with a quick test, this seemed alright, but it didn't take long, and we started having issues with it. Give it a quick clean and see how that top's like, but I think it's actually fairly close to mint condition for a change. There's a few little scratches on the top. Is that a little ding here? I think it's got a bit of a ding in the cover there. Get that dirt off there. But anyway, that should keep that all going. She cleaned up reasonably well. Could do with a little bit more of a clean here and there. But that's in surprisingly good condition. Unfortunately, no remote with it, which seems to often be the case with these ones. Don't know what happened to all the remotes for them. They either died or got lost, or the dog ate them or something. But anyway, that should keep that going, so thanks for watching.